What really happened between an idea and the finished garment? That's the part I want to show you. Welcome to Behind the Scenes of J Culture, where I'm taking you through the making of this A shaped dress from the very first cut to the final finish. And if you enjoy fashion, creativity, sewing, and watching an idea gradually come to life, please like, comment, share, follow, and save this video. You can also share it with your loved ones or anyone you think would be interested in fashion and creative work. Now, let's get into the process. I started by placing my fabric on fold and taking the measurements for the A-shaped dress. Because this is a child's garment, I wanted the silhouette to be comfortable, free, and easy to move in, while still maintaining a clean and elegant structure. Once my measurements were ready, I positioned the back bodies and prepared the fabric for cutting. Then came the neckline. I had to decide where to place the opening. I considered putting it at the front, but I felt the depth would be too much for a child and would expose more of the chest area than I wanted. So I decided to move the opening to the back neckline, keeping the front clean, simple, and modest. After cutting the front and back bodies, I prepared the facing. I wanted the facing to have a slight yoke effect, extending from the shoulder towards the mid armhole. And I stabilized the neckline with gum stay to give it the structure and firmness needed for a neat finish. Then I joined the facing to the bodies around the neckline. Before top stitching, I carefully notched the curved neckline so that it would turn smoothly and sit properly without pulling or creating unnecessary bulk. After turning and pressing it, I top stitched the neckline for that clean, finished look. Next, I prepared the loop for the button opening and attached it neatly to the back neckline. I pressed the front and back bodies, trimmed away the excess, and moved on to preparing the short sleeves. I kept the sleeves simple to complement the free A-shaped silhouette and maintain the comfort of the dress. Once the sleeves were ready, I joined the front and back bodies, worked on the shoulder seams, and pressed them properly. Then I top stitched the facing and bodies to keep everything flat and neat. The sleeves were attached next, and I took the armhole area to the overlock machine to cleanly finish the raw edges. From there, I closed up the bodies, pressed the seams open, and continued with the finishing. I overlocked the remaining seams and the hemline, then returned to the sewing machine to fold and stitch the hem. And finally, I gave the entire dress its final press. At this point, the foundation was complete. The A-shaped dress was ready. But this is where things get interesting because this dress is only the beginning of the design. The next stage is where I start creating the elements that will give this piece its identity. And that is where Vase and Bloom comes in. So, if you enjoy coming behind the scenes with me, please like, comment, share, follow, and save this video. And share it with your loved ones or anyone who appreciates fashion, creativity, and the art of making. This is J Culture, and I will see you in part 2. Bye for now.